Happy Friday, everyone, and welcome to The Messenger. We are here today with Mr. Porter, who is our band instructor this year, strings instructor, choir instructor. We are just so delighted to have him and all the skills he brings with him to our students this year. And Mr. Porter is going to talk to us a little bit today about how important music education is to children and what impact music has on the brain development of children, and we're just so excited to have you. So thanks for being here today.
Thank you very much for having me.
Absolutely. So tell us a little bit about what impact music education has on children's brain development and how that's affecting our students this year.
So I take an approach in the class that does focus on brain development in a way that I actually work with the students to understand how their brain is processing the music or their instrument that they're learning. If you can imagine, we take maps, Google Maps, Apple Maps to get to a certain location. Or maybe we don't use maps at all, but what we do is we find our way to a location, either a new friend's house or a restaurant, and it may take us longer than expected. Over time, either through information through maps or information through friends and just trial and error, we find the quickest pathway to get there. Learning instruments very much follows that same path. We start with hoping to make a great sound, and sometimes that takes a lot of struggles. So some of that path requires the students to go through a lot of trial and errors, and it might take them a lot of mental gymnastics and sometimes physical gymnastics. You'll see students sometimes turning themselves into pretzels just to make a good sound. But over time, that pretzel starts to relax, straighten out, and they find their pathway not like a pretzel, but more like a straight line. And for students to understand that the path is, for them to learning their instrument is going to follow that direction is important. And we do focus on that in the class. I slow the class down to make sure they have time to think through that. And I'm thinking through all of this while I'm working with the students. Eventually, they forget how difficult the path was, and they just know how to get to their goal very quickly. And that affects the brain in a way that they can apply it to other new skills they'd like to learn. We have very high achieving students. They're used to finding success quickly. And here's a chance to relearn how to learn.
But I think that's really important, because learning to be okay with something being challenging, and that, what do you do when you meet a challenge, and how do you continue through to get to that success on the other end, I think is such an important skill that our children can leave us with. So it's neat that that's part of music learning as well.
Yes, music is physically challenging, emotionally challenging, spiritually challenging. Students have to file these different emotions away, and it helps us actually with our memory. They have an emotion that they were successful at producing an appealing sound, or somebody tells them how wonderful it was, they'll remember that and they'll want to recreate that. And that creates memory. Sometimes memory is recalled through emotions or a song you hear or even food that you smell or eat. Most music teachers rely on, at least I feel most music teachers rely on, to get their students to remember how to get to where they like to be.
Thank you so much. That's really fascinating, and it's been so fun to watch our kiddos really take to band and strings this year, and it's been really exciting to, from last year to this year, continue to expand our performing arts programming with SGTV and band this year, and all the music that our children get to partake in, and of course drama and all of those amazing and wonderful opportunities for our students. So we are just thrilled to have you. So thank you so much for being part of our school family.
I do want to say thank you so much for having me here.
Sure.
The first year has been a fantastic year of growth for me, and slow growth for the program that's, I think, going to establish a really, really strong music tradition here at the school that's hopefully will continue for the life of the school.
Yeah, well, that's the goal.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Well, thank you, Gary, so much. We
Thank
appreciate it. It was so nice to have Mr. Porter here with us, and he has given us some really great videos that you can find in the Messenger today that really speak to music and brain development and how children learn and how that learning of music affects what they do every day. And so it's been really exciting to expand our performing arts program, and thank you to all of you who made that possible with your philanthropy. Speaking of which, our St. Gabriel's Annual Fund has begun this week, so we hope that you will join us in that annual effort to support what we do here on campus. We couldn't do it without you, and we are truly grateful for the good work that your philanthropy allows us to do. Next week is a big week. We have second grade field trip. They are going on their first field trip. I don't know if you remember, but last year we did not do field trips. So isn't it wonderful that we get to do that again? They are going to the Lady Bird Johnson Wildflower Center. So that will happen on Tuesday. We're so excited to be able to do field trips again this year. They will get their colored t-shirts as we always do by grade level. So so fun to be back to normal. Wednesday next week is pre-K 3 and 4 Mother's Tea. We're so excited that we're going through those this year, having a great time. Thank you to all the moms that have hosted so far and that are planning to host. It's been a really joyful time to just be together and celebrate the children that are in those grade levels. We also next week have a Sabre Moms Social. This week was our Sabre Dad Social. Thanks to all the dads that came. It was such fun to be together, and I know the Sabre Moms Social will be the same. So hope that you will join us at the Crenshaw's Barton Creek Country Club from 6:30 to 9 next Wednesday, it looks like. So that'll be a fun event for all of us. Thursday, picture retakes. If you want your child to have their picture retakes, I know I need my picture retaken. I did not like my first one, so please send your kiddo ready for those next Thursday. It will be a Mass Day as well, so that will help you out to remember that that's that special day. Mass will be hosted that day by our National Junior Honor Society, so we're delighted to have them leading us. And then Friday next week is no school, as well as the following Monday. So we have a 4-day weekend next week for fall break, and that coincides with the first quarter ending. It's hard to believe we are already at the end of the first quarter. So lots of good fun things coming up. Amazing things happening here on campus. So thanks for all you do to make that possible. We're just thrilled to be able to do it every day. If you're going to ACL, enjoy, stay clean and dry, and have a good time, and we will see you next week. Lots of sports coming up. The sports this week were amazing. Amazing. It was so fun watching our football players on the field this week, as well as our volleyball teams. So they're all continuing to do well. Look to the messenger for all of the times of games and events for sports, and I hope you'll join me in cheering for them. So until I see you next time, go Sabres!